VT Corner, everyone's favorite segment of College Football Monday.
I need to cover this up.
Virginia Tech lost to Georgia Tech 35-20, Sam. We did not cover as I hoped we would, thanks to Monty going for 2. But
the right call.
But it did go under thanks to that call. It went under the 55.5.
Virginia Tech positive net success rate on the road at Georgia Tech. Congratulations, everybody.
We did that.
Great job. Yeah. 0.2 EPA per play, 81st percentile of the last 2 years, 57% success rate, 6.8 yards per play. Oh, man. What a game for the Hokies offense.
What is it? Second best yards per play on the season? Yes. No, I'm sorry. Best yards per play on the season, 6.7. Better than Wofford. We had a better yards per play than we did against Wofford in this game.
Tied them 20-20 after the first quarter. Disregard the first quarter. Not a bad game.
Can we go back to the game in 1 second? I want to get this out there first. The Whit Babcock interview. This is VT Corner. We cover all aspects, not just the game. There was supposed to be a media session with Whit Babcock last week, and then it was this week. We thought it was today or tomorrow. But via Andy Bitter, Babcock and the search committee signed NDAs and will no longer comment on the search process. What is your reaction to that, Sam? Does this, why did they do this? Should this have always been in place?
My gut reaction is, grand scheme, this is probably good because every time he speaks in front of a microphone, something bad happens. So people
don't react to it well.
The less Whit Babcock, the better. That's one. The second side is, I think this is such an internal cluster right now, and they don't have things set up like they would want to have them set up. And that secrecy is probably the best way to try to clean that up, because the last thing they need is somebody misspeaking on a podcast or show, or somebody leaking information that loses a competitive advantage on a candidate. Like, they can't afford stuff like that.
I wonder who was like, okay, we're doing NDAs, because we know Whit's not in charge. And was it
Rokovich?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. It had to be. But
I believe Coach so most athletic departments, if they're going out for a head coach in basketball or football, they will hire a firm that does a lot of the background checks and gathering information and contacting agents and all that stuff. Those firms sign NDAs, the people who are working for those firms. So that's not abnormal in this case.
It's not abnormal, but I would just think there's a code of silence on these things unless you actually know the facts anyway. And if they were going to do the NDA, clearly they felt it necessary at this point because of what's gone down. Teal laid into them on Tech sideline. A bunch of other people have, put editorializing commentary on it. And it's warranted because the messaging did kind of flip flop, and we don't really know who's in charge. But giving your AD an NDA, Robert, that has to mean he's gone. You are stripping him of everything.
I'm actually not able to comment on this matter due to a non-disclosure agreement that I have signed.
I was about to say, is he being sick? Because Robert is an actual writer. He might actually have an NDA on something, but
yeah. They held me at gunpoint, told me to sign. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hate to speculate, but it just seems like, I believe, was it Max and Cheese? Was that who asked the question that you put on screen? Yeah. Who's in charge? The answer is nobody or everybody or God. I don't know, but it's no one we can pin down. So it's I think the fact that they called this press conference and then canceled it because they decided to sign NDAs, that's an issue. If this was NDAs from the beginning, we don't need to know. I know people want to know, the steps in the process. We don't need to know who's in charge. Like, I don't care. Like, just get me a good coach at the end of the day. Just show me the result.
Yeah.
But now you're kind of teasing me with all this extra information that I didn't want, and then you're taking it away from me. Well, now I'm just confused, and it makes you look foolish. And I don't. Now it doesn't inspire confidence.
That is the sentiment that our friend Mike McDaniel had to say. He said, once they started like putting info out there, and now they're turtling up, it becomes odd. Virginia Tech could have said nothing if they wanted to, but they wanted to publicly juice the job before the search. Now they're upset. People want more information. So it's I mean, it's just more of the same of what we expect from Virginia Tech and the athletic department. I guess now nothing is better than what they would put out there. So I would have just wished this is how it was from the beginning. Like, I think most people would agree with that at this point.
Do we think that the chaos around the coaching carousel led to this maybe? Saying, hey, this is going to be a crazy one. Let's keep it in-house.
I think that had something to do with it. I think it had more to do with Arians and then the Bill Roth interview.
Yeah. I think it maybe has a lot to do with Bruce Arians having the platform that he does.
Yeah, because he goes on McAfee once a week, and like he's on there for he's on there. He goes on there once a week. That's his thing, and like he's on there for like 2 hours, and like he's chopping it up with the fellas. Like, I mean, he's just a football guy. He just likes to shoot the bull. You know what I mean? And like, it's very hard to ask him not to leak something. You know.
And Eddie Royal is on national television every week.
That's right.
So you have a lot going on here.
Not to mention, like, Bud Foster is out there with donors a lot. Like, with Babcock, probably still has relationships with donors.
We were hanging out with Bud Foster in Atlanta. Like, he could have said anything, you know? Like, not that the search committee had started then, but you get my point. Like, he is always with people.
Right. Yeah. It's just hard to, unless you set clear expectations and clear guardrails, it's hard to, hope for anything else.
So let's move on from that and just quickly touch on the Stoops is being discussed thing. And Important Views says, if Stoops is being discussed as a candidate, this search is a disaster already.
Amen.
Mark Stoops is like it's more likely that James Franklin's the next head coach of Virginia Tech than Mark Stoops.
And that's very unlikely.
Yeah. Usually what happens in these scenarios, I would be shocked if it was Mark Poops. I have no info on that. I don't know. I just think that maybe my life will be better than that being the outcome.
You have faith in some higher power that won't happen to you. What has led you to that conclusion, Rob? Because it's not going well.
Sorry, I've referenced God twice in the last 5 minutes.
Robert's going to break out into I Dreamed a Dream from Les Mis here in a couple minutes.
But usually that happens because that coach is about to lose his job. His agent is reaching out. He's posturing for his next job. He's trying to figure it out. Tech can politely say thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
And move on.
It's agent work.
Yeah. Stoops is like, I don't think this is going to last where I'm at right now. Go do some legwork, please, so I can land on my feet.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the game. We were shorthanded because even though we got Woodson back, Keller didn't play. We didn't have Montavious Cunningham. Stewart did play, but he wasn't 100%. And the game started off just about as bad as possible. It was 8-0 Georgia Tech quick because they had no respect for us and went for 2 right off the bat. Then it was 15-0, then 18-0 through the first 20 minutes. We scored a touchdown before the half, which was pretty great. But of course, they drove down for a field goal to make it 21-7 at the break. We showed some fight in the third, cut it to 21-14 on the first TD pass to Jarikus Hairston. It was a really nice drive. And GT answered quickly right back. And at that point, it seemed like it was going to be an uphill battle. We both added touchdowns later in the game, and it ended 35-20. We already commented on the offense. They were better on a per play basis than Wofford Sam, but we just didn't run that many plays.
No. And I think you also had, again, I'll point to it, just not enough explosive plays for this offense. And too many times the defense allowed a big play for Georgia Tech. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not it never really felt like Virginia Tech was going to win this game. Pretty much from kickoff. And like, it really was about, and I don't say this facetiously, like, it really did feel like it was a game to like, let's hope we cover the spread. That's kind of, it felt like what
I was hoping that because I talked about it on last week's show.
I mean, you did so many things well, but because you weren't ready to play for 15 minutes, you really didn't have a shot in this game. And I do think it was a bit of Georgia Tech went, let's throw out the crazy plays in the first quarter, and then let's dial it back and be really simple for the rest of the game. Something else I'll point out, and this is over the last 2 games. If you take out the first quarter against Georgia Tech and the second quarter against Wake Forest, Virginia Tech's outscoring those teams 36-29. However, in those 2 games, Virginia Tech has 16 penalties for 156 yards and are a combined 7 of 25 on third down.
Yeah, well, in this game, we were 0 of 8 on third down. GT was in our backfield on just about every down. They had 4 sacks, 6 TFL, 2 hurries. And that number on the hurries, that's kind because Drones had to take off a ton. He had 16 carries, some of which, were out of desperation. And he had the nice TD run. But on the season now, and this game was probably the worst example of him being pressured. Maybe. I don't know. On the season, he has 218 pass attempts. According to PFF, he has 107 pressures on dropbacks. I got that number from Doug Bowman. That means on half of his dropbacks, he is getting pressure. No quarterback can succeed like that. And I know like we have our issues with Kyron Drones. He has accuracy problems. He hasn't been good even when he has had protection at times, but no quarterback is going to be good getting pressured on 50% of their dropbacks.
No. And another thing from Doug Bowman, while we mentioned him, who does a great job compiling some of these stats, for success rate for Virginia Tech on rushing plays, 48%. That's number 33 in the country, Pete. Pass plays, 35%. That's number 125.
Yeah, I mean, we are beating our heads against the wall with this, dude. Like,
yeah,
I mean, 15 carries for running backs. Those running backs average 7 yards a carry. And we can't protect Drones. He's not a great passer when he is protected. And we run the ball well. And they're still not running the ball enough. Like, I just continue to fail to understand. Hawkins and Stewart, 4th in the country in forced missed tackles as a duo. Thank you, Doug. One last time. 4th in the country. I don't have a clue why we're passing as much as we are, but obligatory, and let's say it together, run the damn ball.
Run the damn
Hawkins
ball.
had over 9 yards per carry. Hawkins had a 28-yard run. Stewart had a 15-yard run. Drones had the 32-yard run. Like, just why are you throwing it at all? Because your wide receivers can't get open and your offensive line can't pass pro.
Did you also notice that 2 of our both touchdown passes to Hairston, the passing TDs, were on 4th down? So, like, this game was very close to not being close at all.
Dude, I tweeted it out too. Monty has a bag here. Like, he's got some plays drawn up that are pretty inventive and pretty great. Like, that 4th down play, I don't know if they checked to it or just went for it, but they did run 4 verts. Yeah. Versus that coverage, and it worked perfect. Like that was the perfect call against that coverage. And then the 4th down play on the goal line was beautiful. I mean, that's an unstoppable play. And it's like, dude, I do feel kind of bad for him because this is not the personnel that he signed up to.
I mean, you got to feel
year.
bad for him, yeah.
And it's like, damn, dude, like he's not a bad coach.
I don't know. I mean, get your air raid shit out of here, though. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. And
like, we knew coming into the seat when he took the job, he knew Kyron Drones was going to be his quarterback, and he knew that was a run first quarterback. Like
that's what's so frustrating.
Like, I don't know,
because he had this problem with Peyton Thorne, and he ran that offense 60% of the time. We're not even close to that, and that's what bugs me. Is like he has not been super pass happy at the end of his Tulsa regime or at Auburn. And yet here when we have no offensive line and a quarterback just as bad at throwing as Peyton Thorne, he's passing more. And so
he's going back to Baylor. Like he's going back to his Baylor days.
Yep.
But that was 10 years ago. And with
we don't have RG3
or Bryce Petty. Yeah. Like
I also think he has taken over as a head coach. We haven't had a bye week yet, which is something, Sam, we maybe didn't harp on that enough.
I agreed.
Like only 14 teams in the country have played 7 games. We played them in 7 weeks. Some of those 14 teams had a week 0 game. So like we are on the very rare side of having played 7 games in 7 weeks. And like the guys had nothing left. On defense, we're a mash unit. And it showed. We gave up 481 yards, 7.3 yards per play. I mean, we got George Balance leading us in tackles. Joseph Reddish, not Quentin Reddish, had 6 tackles. And Noah Chambers, a true freshman, had 5 tackles. I like Balance. He has been a great Hokie. I think he could give us some depth reps. Chambers is an incredible freshman. But the fact that we have to rely on these guys as much as we do tells the story. I mean, Reddish was in D2 last year. Like this, he's our second leading tackler in this game. Like it is...
I
appreciate all of them for playing as hard as they do. I really do.
I'll tell you what, effort's not the issue.
No.
Effort's not the issue. And I don't even know if X's and O's are the issue. I think we can be upset about the run-pass split, but I don't think X's and O's on either side of the ball are the issue either. I tweeted out right before the game when we got the final availability reports that I think this is the worst team Tech has fielded. This is worse than 2022, I thought. I thought there were areas where it was so clear. It looked like one of the COVID rosters. We were so.
This is hard. That's hard because the roster at the beginning of the season, I think, was far better than 2022. I
agree. No, I totally agree. And that's kind of my point is like the dudes we were excited about aren't playing anymore. And
yeah,
I remember I was watching with my family and I paused and like Georgia Tech had a 3rd down in the red zone. 3rd down in the red zone. Got to hold them to a field goal. I paused before the play and I went through because it was a frame where you could see all 11 players on defense. And I went through and I was like, backup, 3rd string, walk on, 3rd string, backup, starter, back. Like none of them, none of our best players are actually on the field. And that's why I can't judge like what Sam Seifkis is able to do. This is one of the worst defenses in power football because we have 3rd string defensive linemen out there.
Yeah.
We have none of our best linebackers are out there. None of our best DBs are out there anymore. Like I don't know what they're really supposed to do in this game. Haynes King was 20 of 24. Georgia Tech could have just kept scoring in this game.
It wouldn't have mattered. We could have put up 2 more touchdowns. We would have lost. Like they were going to keep going and keep scoring. And
it's just so frustrating. I give so much credit to the guys out there who are actually playing.
Yes.
But the best ability is sometimes availability. And I know that's a trope, but the talent on this Virginia Tech roster isn't actually playing on the field. And if you don't play on the field, you don't matter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you that.
And it doesn't help that like conceptually, Seifkis especially, but like Monty's offense also is like very complicated, very complex. I mean, Seifkis is bringing in this NFL system, a true multiple style defense with switching up fronts, switching up personnel constantly. Like it is a very, very complex defense to understand. And we have players that just can't understand it. That's just not, they're not good enough. And like, it's not their fault. Like it's, like you said, Sam, there's opt-outs and injuries and everything else. And so it's like, we talk about how Sam Seifkis is like an evil genius. Like, yeah, he is, but doesn't matter if the only
it's not a full deck.
Given. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's not playing guys full snap. Like, Gilliam and Copeland aren't getting a full range of starting snaps right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's criticisms that you can have of both him and Monty. Like I saw the comment, like, yeah, like I do believe that Monty like is a good coach. I think he's done really well as an interim head coach. I would like to see Monty get another shot as a head coach somewhere in the G5 or something like that. But at the same time, like I don't know if they're adjusting to their personnel the way they need
and they haven't had a bye week to do it. And that's what I'm hoping before Cal. Like this could be a very pivotal week, right, Sam? And then you had your hand up. What were you going to say?
He would
raise your hand. You can just talk over me if you want.
He would be a really good hire for UAB.
Oh,
Yeah, dude. That's
Like, he's
really
not
great
bad.
call.
he's a good football coach, man. And I'll tell you
a lot
what,
better than Trent Dilfer.
yeah, yeah. So that's
He would
just what I wanted to
provide
get
the
at there.
stability that they desperately need. Like Montgomery is like the anti Trent Dilfer.
Exactly.
I mean, he's got the name of a city in Alabama, right? I mean,
yeah, it's a pretty good start, right?
He should be down
I
there.
watched this game. It's like you couldn't expect to win this game at any point. We just didn't have the dudes. At one point, I think we had our 5th and 6th string corners in.
I know. I mean, yeah. So what I'm hoping is like
to do.
We need the bye week. We'll get a little bit healthier. Monty can hopefully have a little bit of time that he's not dealing with guys trying to leave the program and whatever else, that he can kind of see what works on offense, see what doesn't. And maybe against Cal will look healthier and a little bit different. And all three of us will be there. So that's going to be fun. What are we going to do? Are we going to record? Are we going to hang out? Like, what's going to happen?
We can bring that offline, but I'll be there. The hotel is booked. The ticket is there. My outfit is picked out, weather pending. I'm ready to go, man.
Is it an effect? Is it an effect
no,
game?
I don't think it's
a Coors Light effect. That's
it's a please show up effect.
I don't like being told what to do by anyone but my wife. So,
but yeah, I'm excited about getting down there. Coach is going to be down.
Back-to-back bangers, fellas.
I told
Coors
you guys,
Light effect is really good.
Coors Light effect, yeah. Little soaking wet jeans because you just drank too much. It's just going everywhere.
A Jack Daniels
Austin in the parking lot.
Oh! I thought you were.
Oh, sorry, Rob. No, I wasn't
defecating.
Wasn't soiling myself other than with beer pouring down, doing a stone cold.
I don't want to drop a bomb here, but you got the bye week at home. Quarterback hadn't been playing too well. Do you make the pop move?
Pop.
If you're going to make the pop move, it's this week, right?
Yeah.
Let me confess something.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, yes, I think you are right in that, but we haven't shown an ability to start anybody else or a desire to start anybody else.
That's the thing.
From a fan's perspective, I was very adamant in talking to you guys offline that like I was not planning on watching that game live. There was just so much other good football going on. I maybe watched 5 plays of the Virginia Tech game. And what they were was when I checked the box score on my phone and I saw that Pop Watson had a carry and I thought, oh my God, they did it. And I turned it on and I see number 1 trotting back out there and I was like, damn it. And I changed the channel back. To Georgia and Auburn. Yeah. Or whatever.
I believe so. So Kyron had got his ankle retaped a bit. Kyron was, I think, fine, but he had to come out because the trainers came out on the field. And a wonderful sideline report, very informative, said he had to come out and they retaped his ankle. Back to you. And that was it. So that's kind of the coverage we're getting. Can I mention the coverage real quick?
Yeah, let's talk about the coverage briefly, dude.
West Durham, that was fucking pathetic.
Shameful.
That was shameful. That was so awful. I understand it's a lopsided game. Okay. I'm super well aware that it's a lopsided game. They had everything set up for Georgia Tech. He was stoked when Georgia Tech scored, and he sounded like he was going to cry, like he lost his puppy when Virginia Tech made a play. It was terrible. It was shameful. It was awful. I would like to say he's better than that. And I know you're an Atlanta guy and you're former Georgia Tech radio guy, but come on, man, at least attempt to be neutral.
It was like watching awful. Collinsworth call Patrick Mahomes' game. Like that's what it was like. I mean, it was
because Collinsworth is actually a talented play-by-play guy. West Durham was just terrible in that. That was shameful.
It was, and a lot of people made that commentary online. Like Sam is not alone, and I would agree with that take. Although a lot of times when Tech is losing, and my wife hates this, I mute the television. Like I can't hear like the bad things happening. I can watch it, but I just can't hear it. And so maybe I didn't hear as much as you did. All right, let's close this out. We'll talk a little bit more about this game and some other Tech stuff on Two Deep later this week. But I need to know what you guys are drinking. Rob looks like he's got something clear over there. If you're having a beer, we'll talk about it. Sam, you go first.
Yeah, so I had this on my pumpkin beer episode that we had last week. So this is the Rosemary's Spawn from Two Roads Brewing. It is
back to the well.
Yeah, back to the well. I mean, you got a 6-pack of them. You got to try them out. So this is a pumpkin maple pecan ale.
Whoa.
Quite the mouthful. It is much more maple pecan than it is pumpkin. We went over this in our show. It's a pretty good beer. I actually think this is much better than I thought it was last time, because you could probably hear it on the recording. It was a little under the weather, and I was trying a few different beers. With a fresh palate, this is better than I thought it was. It's really, it's a really dark beer. I think it's great for like a fireside beer if you want in the fall. Again, if you're not a fan of pumpkin, don't be off put by it being called a pumpkin maple pecan ale. There's really not a lot of pumpkin in it. It's much more maple pecan, but it's a really good beer.
Last week. It was good.
Awesome can.
It was a solid beer. Yeah, the can's sweet. Rob, are you having beer tonight?
I am having Don Julio and Spendrift. But I have been drinking. On a Monday night. Honestly, it's more about cutting the calories.
We're all trying to get through the week, Rob. Come on.
Yeah. I have been drinking the Founders Oktoberfest. I'm a huge Oktoberfest guy.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a Marzen, so it's not a fest beer. I'm more of a Marzen fan. Pete, I know you're the same way. You like that darker color, a little more malty flavor. It's pretty solid. Like I'd put it in like a 3.8. So I've been really enjoying that.
And they sell it in the 15 or 18 packs. Like you can get it in like a bigger pack too, which and I'll keep that in the fridge for a while. Like the Founders one is one of the most drinkable I find of the the large US distributed Oktoberfest. I'm having the Hallway by Double Nickel. Double Nickel does these great patterned cans, and they're awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And it's got, it's a Halloween theme because it's a brown ale brewed with pumpkin spice and Madagascan vanilla bean. So it's got a little bit of vanilla. It's got the pumpkin, and it's dark like the Spawn. So Sam, I would say it's similar to that, but you definitely get more of the vanilla. Again, not heavy on the pumpkin. Definitely not heavy on the pumpkin. I don't think I'd know it was a pumpkin beer, but I like the Halloween theme with like the Holloway and everything.
I think that's kind of a theme that I have found with the pumpkin beers that I've tried, and maybe the newer releases, is they are a little less pumpkin flavored forward, and they're much more either to the spice side or to a maple side on the other.
It's more autumn flavored. Yes, it's more pumpkin flavored than the one you just had. But heavy on the spices. Like you can really, it's got a spice punch to it. But the Hallway, I love Double Nickel. It's one of my favorite Jersey breweries, and in Pennsauken, right across the river from Philly. They do an amazing job. And this one, maybe not my favorite, but I do love browns and I love pumpkin. So I'm not going below a 3.75. I do like it.
Nice.
I want you guys to know that College Football Monday is brought to you by Roback and Compass Coffee. And we have the same code at both companies, 2DeepVT. So if you want a new polo from any college that they have, which they have a ton of them, use code 2DeepVT. Or if you want to load up your cart, get some coffee delivered to your house, go to compasscoffee.com or download their app. They make it super easy. Get that coffee delivered, 20% off. They also run really sick Black Friday deals too. So keep that in mind. Use code 2DeepVT.